Welcome to the Somatic Decoder, the channel where we explore human health from a natural, biological and conscious perspective. Today's video will take us into one of the most important and frequently misunderstood aspects of human health diseases of the colon. These include conditions such as irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease and colon cancer. Conventional medicine often labels these disorders as chronic, progressive and sometimes even incurable. But when we look deeper, we discover a different truth. The colon is not malfunctioning. Instead, it is faithfully carrying out biological programs designed to help us adapt and survive intense emotional conflicts. The official view. From the perspective of modern medicine, colon diseases are classified as follows. IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome, is a functional disorder often related to stress or dietary factors. Ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease are considered inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. They're thought to be autoimmune in origin, which basically means the immune system, for some reason, starts attacking the intestinal lining. Colon cancer is a malignant tumor that develops from the mucosa of the colon. It's often linked to genetic predisposition, diet, smoking or chronic inflammation. Official treatments, well, they really do vary depending on the condition. So, IBS is usually treated with dietary changes, antispasmodic medication or sometimes even antidepressants. Colitis and Crohn's disease, well, they often involve corticosteroids, immunosuppressants or biological therapies to help reduce inflammation. Colon cancer is approached with surgery, chemotherapy and radiation, depending on its stage. While these treatments can alleviate symptoms or remove tumours, they often do not address why the colon began to react in this way. This is where the deeper biological perspective provides invaluable insights. In biological terms, the colon responds when a person experiences a conflict of something dirty, offensive, unbearable, or indigestible. This is not only about physical food, it is about symbolic experiences that the psyche perceives as toxic or unacceptable. In IBS, the body reacts with spasms and irregular movements, reflecting internal tension around an unresolved issue. So, in colitis or Crohn's disease, the mucosa of the colon may actually ulcerate during the conflict-active phase, all in an effort to digest the offensive experience a bit better. And then, when the conflict resolves, the healing phase shows up, bringing inflammation, diarrhea and pain. In colon cancer, the conflict tends to be more intense and lasts longer, which leads the body to grow additional tissue, really in an attempt to process that intolerable content. Different names, but it's the same biological logic at work. The colon isn't broken, it's actually faithfully adapting to experiences that are perceived as deeply unpleasant. So let's take a moment to hear some real patient stories. Michael, who is 42 years old, developed severe ulcerative colitis after discovering that his business partner had betrayed him financially. His body really mirrored his inner feeling of, well, this situation is intolerable. Once he recognized and addressed the betrayal, his symptoms began to reduce significantly. Sarah, at 29 years old, was diagnosed with Crohn's disease after years of family conflict, especially around constant criticism she felt was, honestly, impossible to swallow. Therapy allowed her to see the pattern differently, and her flare-ups became less frequent. David, 35 years old, experienced irritable bowel syndrome after a painful breakup, feeling, as he put it, treated like garbage. Understanding this hidden emotional layer really helped him take back control of his health. Emily, 50 years old, lived with chronic colitis for years. She had spent decades in silence, tolerating humiliations in her marriage. The day she confronted and set clear boundaries, her symptoms started to ease, proving how, honestly, personal resolution is the first medicine. Robert, 56 years old, was diagnosed with colon cancer after a long period of feeling betrayed and, as he described, dragged through the dirt in a property inheritance conflict. When he uncovered the emotional root and worked to release it, his medical treatment became more effective and his quality of life improved significantly. Each of these cases highlights a vital truth. Conflicts are personal and unique. There is no single recipe for healing. What triggers disease in one person might not affect another at all. That is why discovering the exact emotional biological root is essential. In the animal kingdom, the digestive tract reacts immediately when food is contaminated, violently expelling what is toxic. For humans, however, the contamination is often symbolic, humiliating words, betrayals, or situations that feel impossible to accept. Our colon becomes the stage where this inner battle is expressed. Complementary approaches for healing. Resolving the biological conflict is the main key. Without addressing the original cause, therapies may provide only temporary relief. However, once the conflict is brought to light, complementary therapies can greatly support the healing process. Homeopathy uses remedies like aurum metallicum, Crataegus oxyacantha, and natrum muriaticum. These can really help with emotional balance and support tissue repair. Acupuncture often involves points such as Ren 4, also called Guanyuan Kidney 3 or Taixi and Bladder 23, which is known as Shenshu. These points are commonly used to release emotional tension and restore balance in the digestive system. Medical ozone therapy interestingly helps reduce inflammation, modulates the immune system and, enhances oxygen supply to tissues. So, phytotherapy or herbal medicine involves using plants like chamomile, turmeric, aloe vera, slippery elm and psyllium husk. These can really help soothe the colon and support mucosal regeneration. While these approaches are definitely valuable, they are, secondary. The real turning point comes when a person identifies and resolves their inner emotional conflict. If you suffer from colon-related conditions, just know this: your body is not betraying you. It's actually protecting you, adapting to something you once experienced as intolerable, humiliating, or impossible to accept. Colon cancer, colitis, Crohn's, or IBS are not random punishments. They are meaningful expressions of a story that your body still carries. By listening to those symptoms, by decoding their message, you can free yourself from a burden that no surgery or pill can truly erase. Treatments can assist, but the real medicine is in resolving the conflict at its root. Here at the Somatic Decoder, we believe every symptom has a voice. Colon diseases are not enemies, they are biological allies, showing us where healing must begin. By decoding them, you take back the power to heal, not just to survive. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to our channel and join a community that is redefining health. Together, we are discovering that illness is not a curse, but a call to awaken.